Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Kevin with a review of the Now Pilot. I rode these at Keystone kind of mid-season, hadn't snowed in a while, so it's pretty bare out. Actually pretty good conditions to test bindings because it does very much test the vibration dampening, shock absorbing. It really lets me feel what's going on with the binding. I rode them on my Lago open road, so a little bit of a softer-ish board, but kind of a decent match to the Pilot, kind of where the Pilot's supposed to land. And I wore my Burton Almighties in a size 8. Decent fit. The Pilots are on hanger 2.0, so it's a little bit of a wider fit in the heel, and it definitely fit better with the bulkier boot. Adjustability with Nows is pretty minimal. You have your strap adjustments that are on toolless bolts. Flip the little tabs, spin them out. There is a Phillips head if you really need to use a screwdriver, and then you have your forward lean block. That's pretty much it for adjustability. The ankle straps on these are the flip-it variety, so you can change how stiff it is by changing, just taking the strap, taking it off the binding, taking it off the other binding, and moving them between bindings. They call it the flip-it. It allows you to adjust kind of how stiff that strap feels up top versus down low. So the toe strap on this is a little bit more basic compared to the more 3D shaped that is on some of the other bindings like the Drive and the Select and some of the other higher end stuff. And this strap is actually better. So if you haven't watched enough of my binding review videos yet, watch all of them and you'll quickly learn that I'm really not the biggest fan of really 3D shaped straps. I prefer a strap that's designed to conform instead of designed to be the shape of a boot, because you can't predict what boot is going to go in that binding. So a heavily 3D shaped strap, it doesn't always fit great. So having a more basic strap for me is better because I think it locks onto the boot better, it stays put better, and that was definitely the case with this strap. I didn't have to flip them like I did with the 3D shaped ones on the Drive, and they stayed put, they worked, they did their job. The ankle straps on these are of this new breed of injected material. Instead of it being foam with a fabric stitched around it, this is just foam. And I really like that. It conforms around your boot really well, it doesn't cause any pressure points, and it provides a lot more progressive of a flex to it. So the further you flex into these straps, the stiffer they feel, and they almost have this kind of cushiony bottom out where when you flex into it far enough, it just gives you massive amounts of support and really allows you to just lay into that strap and it just supports you. Ratchets on Now bindings are very basic. There's really nothing to speak about here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I didn't have any issues. So pretty basic ratchets, they work, they release, they climb, they did their job. The high backs on the Pilot are a mid-flex with a sweet cutout in them. So pretty standard mid-flex up until that cutout, and then above that it allows for a little bit more flex, a little bit more tweak. And they also have a lot of an asym shape to them, which matches up to your boot really well and matches up to that natural angle you get out of your legs when you're in your snowboard, more athletic power stance. I really like the high backs. I think they work extremely well. They allow for any sort of tweakability. They never feel like they're in your way. They ride really smooth up top, but you have all the power and drive and support you need down low. The post in the Pilots is their nylon post, so it's their softer variant. And overall, with the kind of mid-flex high back, the not super stiff straps, and kind of mid-flex frame, this binding lands right in the middle of all mountain. A little bit more flexible up top, so it kind of does have a little bit of that freestyle feel to it with that cutout in the high back. And then the feel of these things. And that really comes down to skate tech. That is Now's signature technology. It's in every binding and it really works. And it's really awesome. It is definitely one of the few technologies in snowboard bindings out nowadays that changes the way that something feels for the better and actually does it and does it well. There's a lot of stuff out there that's just marketing speak or, you know, this, that, whatever, and it just kind of falls flat, or it feels different, but it's not great. This is all the good things. And basically the way that it works is that hanger where the disc mounts to the board inside the binding, that's really the structure of the binding that's really hitting the board, and then everything else is kind of floating above it, sort of. And as you're putting pressure through that binding onto your toes, you're pushing down on your bushings and pulling up on the hanger. And that works to basically better drive all that energy and effort you're putting into the binding to picking the board up on edge. Works that way on the toes and the heels, in case you were curious. And it works really well. It makes everything feel quicker, and you put them on any board and that board is going to steer at your feet. And that is definitely unique to Now. now basically markets this binding as one of their catch-all bindings. Basically the way that I see this is the Pilot is basically the counterpart in Hanger 2.0 to the Select. So very similar markets is kind of where they're pushing these bindings. Kind of fits most people out there. Now I would say it's not going to be as stiff as you really need it to be to hit your full-on freeride dude. That's not what they marketed at, and it's not really your full-on jib binding. Again, not where they marketed at. So as long as you're not those either extremes, that's where they're pushing it, and I think it fits there well. Overall, this is probably my favorite binding in the line if you're looking at now and you're curious which binding you want to get into and you've got no clue. It fits just about everybody and it works really well, and with the Hanger 2.0 you have a little bit of that extra space in the heel cup just in case you've got a bulkier boot or you're not looking for that really precise fit in the heel that you get out of the original Hanger design or Hanger 1.0. So overall, if you're looking at now, you've got no idea which one you really want to get, check out the Pilot. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Kevin Hub. This has been my review of the Now Pilot. Are you riding in these bindings? What did you think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Leave me a comment. While you're doing that, make sure you've clicked the subscribe button, and while you're clicking that, make sure you're also hitting that bell. Get notifications when we've got more reviews, more projects, and more videos coming out. If you're new around here, check out Angry Snowboarder VIP. It is the best way to support us, get some extra cool content you're not going to see anywhere else, and keep these projects coming to you. Check me back in the next video.